Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High, God of Israel. This is Obi-Wan coming back at you with another little short class. This one here is part one of the X-Men of Israel, the Supermen of Israel. And what this class is about, this is showing you that as long as they can put a deity or some creature, some design, some scheme of things before you and your God, this is how they're displacing your power. And a lot of these unlearned brothers really don't understand about the Most High and how he has been active with us, more so in the Ancient of Days than now today. Okay, in the Ancient of Days, we saw all of this stuff happen firsthand, right in front of our eyes, and yet our people still went against him. They still denied the power, they still denied our God, and they still went after false idols. And as a true battle axe of the Most High, because the Most High makes it plain and clear about his army and the Torah, throughout the Torah, and actually throughout the Bible. But in the New Testament, we find another collection of an army that doesn't match what the Most High said, okay? And mainly what I'm speaking about is the 144. Whether or not you know it or not, the 144 is the devil's army. It's not the army of the Most High. So a lot of your brothers are still confused about what it's saying about, oh, I'm one of the 144,000. You are more than likely, you are right. You are one of the devil's militants, because they are everywhere out here. That's why it says that many false prophets will come and will mislead many people. The false prophets are the camps, the church, those that really don't know God and are putting some other deity before him. So we're just going to get down into it. We're going to start off with the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6. And we're just going to start off with the words of the Most High. The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Okay? That's the reason why we still exist today. But I'm going to read on. Verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers, you are gone away from mine ordinances. This is the problem. It's really says, even from the day of your fathers, you have went away from his ordinances. Okay? And have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you. This is the Most High telling you about the everlasting covenant that he made. That's why he says that he changed not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. You get that again in Habakkuk 3 and 6. And I'm just going to bring it out to show you that it is an everlasting covenant, because there's a lot of unlearned, I don't know where these sisters are coming up and coming on these things, teaching people this nonsense, but they're going to get themselves and a whole lot of other people chunk into the lake of fire with them. So we're right here in the book of Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 6. And this is what it says. And he stood and measured the earth. Now this is talking about the Most High. Ain't nobody else did it. He tells you in Isaiah that he stretched forth the heavens alone. Okay? He stood and measured the earth. And he held and drove asunder the nations, as the nations and the everlasting mountains were scattered, and perpetual hills did bow. Now we know that the Most High, when his presence is fully re-engulfed in this planet, and he makes his presence known, that all of the mountains, everything gonna bow. Every hill, every mountain, every building, everything gonna come down to the ground, gonna get as low as it can in the presence of him. And a lot of you brothers and sisters better work on getting your attitude and your ego and your pride and your vanity low, out of the complete question, you know. So these are things that we need to work on. But this is the key. Listen to it. It says, the perpetual hills did bow, and his ways are everlasting. So the ways that he set in Malachi 3 and 6 with the covenant that he made with Abraham is everlasting. Everlasting means forever. For those of you that don't have any etymology of words, it means forever. There is no new covenant. The new covenant is of the devil. This is the covenant he wants you under. And this is the way that they're pushing it, because they're getting you away from your power so they can give you some bullshit. And that's just fact of the matter, Israel. I'm going to try and not cuss y'all out as much, because I know when you're unlearned, you're just unlearned. And whenever you're just reckless in your mind, you're just reckless in your mind. So we got to break these cycles and come back to listening to the true messengers. I'm not a prophet. I'm just a messenger, just a watchman, as he says. And I'm doing my part to keep an eye out for the house of Israel, and warn them of the catastrophes that are at hand. And the catastrophes are being brought by the Most High God of Israel. The same God that went and got us out of Egypt, from every captivity we've ever been in, and it's always been the same exact God that has come and got us. But here today, they want you to say that, oh, somebody else is coming to get us out this captivity. That's a lie. That's a lie, Israel. Don't fall for the trash, the mind trash. All right, we're going to the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 3, and this is what it says. And this is about your power. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. The beautiness of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of the youth of thy youth. The Most High is telling you that people are going to be willing in the day of thy power. Right now, our people ain't willing. The way that I speak, and I'm speaking about God only, they ain't willing about that. They ain't ready for that. Because they know Christ crucified. They was taught that in slavery once again. This is where you got that nonsense at. That's why the Most High says that He going to bring you out by a way that you don't know. Everybody was beaten and murdered and tortured to accept Christ crucified, and they continuously taught that to their offspring. That taught it to their offspring. That taught it to their offspring, to here we are today. Okay? With the same trash in your mind that these goddamn cave beasts done pushed on you and forced on you through the curses in Deuteronomy 28:68. Not only that, but the whole book of explaining the curses and stuff. But it says, in the day of thy power, thy people be willing. They're not going to be willing to come back to the Most High God until the Most High puts action on these brothers and stuff that are truly seeking and worshiping Him. Okay, once that happens, everything out there that's been, oh, Yahweh Shai this, Yahweh Shai that, they're going to lose that bullshit, and they're going to come running. What I got to do, what I got to do. A lot of these brothers don't know that they're going to be running up to face their own terminator. And because that's what a lot of it is going to meet. And whether or not you know it or not, it's going to be bad all the way around, because the day of the Lord is not a day of kissing babies and smelling flowers. It's going to be destroying babies and crushing flowers. That's just fact. Romans 9, chapter 11. And it says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. Now what he's talking about here is talking about Jacob and Esau. That they haven't been born yet, they hadn't done any good or any evil. So let's hear what's going on. That the purpose of God, wait a minute, the purpose of God, not your pagan deity, okay? The pagan of the most, the purpose of God, according to election, might stand, not for works, but of him that calleth. So it's not the things that you can really, that a whole bunch of people, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's not a bunch of that's going to work with you. The Most High says that He called, okay? Even though Jacob and Esau had not yet been born and hadn't done anything, the Most High had already chose Jacob. That's just fact. He already knew what Esau was. That's why He said 2 nations are in thy womb. One is of the devil, one is of the Spirit of God. Y'all don't really get it about the Spirit. That's why y'all need to, you have to learn more about the Spirit and what's going on. But He says that even though they hadn't been born yet, hadn't chosen, hadn't done any good or wrong, but according to the election of God, that Jacob is His chosen. Okay? That's just fact. That's the power that we're dealing with. And a lot of these brothers, they don't really know it, nor have a complete overstanding of it, because they're stuck in an understanding. And the understanding only puts you under the person or the idea that has been taught to you. So the idea that's been taught to you is actually wrong. So we just have to, as a people, we have to continue to study to show thyself approved unto Yah, unto the Most High God of Israel. We're going to the book of 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 8. And these be the names of the mighty men whom David, the Tamanite, had in the seat. Now, what we're going to be talking about here, these are the warriors that was with King David, and these brothers were powerful in the Most High, because the Most High would, man, it wouldn't take but 1 or 2 Hebrews to go through a nation and destroy everything. I mean, that's for real. Under the power of the Most High God. I mean, when y'all get to reading the book of Joshua and get deep into the older books, you find out that our brothers was doing superhero shit. They were jumping over 70-foot walls and destroying entire towns by themselves. 2 or 3 of them. I mean, imagine imagine the hell you gonna catch if you had all 12 of these brothers turned loose on your ass. You ain't gonna be able to do shit. Samson was beyond enough for them to handle. They couldn't even deal with Samson. It took him being deceived by a harlot in order for them to be able to get a hold on Samson. So we have to get that overstood. And so we're just having to come back to our God. And these be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Teshmalite. And he said in the seat, chief priest amongst the captains, as the same of the Adino and Elzanite. And he lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. How do you destroy 800 people, 800 men at one time? Power, thy power, the Most High God of Israel. That's who they served. They didn't have no homeboy shout out. It wasn't no give probably a pagan shout out to some other bullshit. It was about God. Okay? And after him was Elzanah, the son of Dodo, the Ammonite, and one of the 3 mighty men with David. When they defeated the Philistines, they were gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand. Now this is one brother. One brother. It says he arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary. Now, this brother is slinging his sword out there, and he ain't the one slinging it. He's just witnessing it. Okay? He's witnessing. And his hand clave unto the sword. He couldn't even stop it. You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to do shit. When the Most High turn loose, he gonna do his thing. Believe that. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day. You heard it said, it didn't say he won a great victory. It says, and the Lord brought him a great victory that day. The Most High destroyed them people, man. You are his. Y'all have no idea. And the people turned after him only to spoil. And after him there was the Shemahite, the son of Agi, and Hagarat. And the Philistines were gathered together unto a troop where there was a piece of a ground full of lentils. And the people fled from the Palestines. All right, so they fleeing from the people because the Palestines are coming down through, and it's just it's what we're not hearing today. It's not what we're being taught today. They want to keep you away from your power. So we're going to move on down. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. And the and the 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Abadel. And the troop of the Palestines pitched in the valley of Rehab. And David was then in a hold and a garrison, and the Philistines was in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me a drink of water of the well in Bethlehem, which was by the gate." Now these brothers in a battle, and King David said he longed for a drink of water that was in the well up by the gate. Now let's see what happened. And the 3 mighty men broke through the host of the Philistines. These 3 brothers went through the entire front line of this Philistine army. I mean, just destroying brothers. Went through the whole thing. Okay? And drew water out of the well in Bethlehem that was at the gate, and took it and brought it back to David. Now they went through these brothers, destroying them, and they come back with the water, destroying them, coming all the way back to David. You hear me? I mean, this is power that they don't want y'all to know about. They want you to stay clear because they want that. Oh, you got to go through the sun. There is no sun. These brothers didn't go through no bullshit. Yahushua or that fake, which Yahushua and Jesus is Aramaic for Jesus. Yahushua is the same damn creature. And these silly campers is going to get a lot of people killed with that nonsense, brothers and sisters. There is no Messiah other than the Most High God of Israel. There is no Savior other than the Most High God of Israel. As it says in Psalms 106 and 22, they have forgot God, their Savior. Plain and simple. You have forgotten God, your Savior. And said, but is it for me, O Lord, that I should do this? It is not the blood of men that wait in jeopardy of their lives. Therefore would I not drink it. These things did these three mighty men, and Abijah, and the brother of Joab, and the son of Zeruiah, and the chief among three. And he lifted up his spear against 100 and slew them, and had a name among three. Now this brother, through the power of the Most High, slew 100 men by his damn self with a spear. We got 801, got 100 right here, got three brothers that destroyed the whole front line of army, went through everybody and got water and come back. This is the power of the Most High God of Israel, and y'all brothers are rejecting him. But it's gonna take the Most High to really turn loose. That's why he says in the day of thy power. You see, the brothers ain't willing to listen to brothers like myself and a few other brothers that really know what's going on and really have a good overstanding because of the Most High about what he is doing and what he is doing with his people. And not perceiving to know the mind of the Most High, I just have a perception of what he has allowed me to assimilate to knowledge to be able to bring it out to you in a way where you can comprehend it. Okay? Zechariah chapter 12, and we're going to start at verse 8. And in that day, the Lord, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them in that day shall be as David. Now David was a mighty man. You didn't want to come up against David out there. You didn't. This brother would handle 10,000 by himself through the power of the Most High. You did not deal with these brothers on no stupid level. Now they pushing a stupid level out there today. Oh yeah, we shall. Shit gonna get you killed, family. That's fact. Just gonna get you killed, plain and simple. And the house of David shall be as God. Now, what is that? The house of David shall be as God, powerful, all powerful. That presence returning to you, like I told you in the ancients of days. These people are terrified of us. They were terrified. That's why you see, if you see one brother on the street, whether it's a Jake or not, or whether it's a Gentile in black flesh or not, it's still going to be 8, 9, 10 cops to show up for that one brother. You see what I'm saying? They're afraid of you, brothers. Y'all don't understand it, but when you call on your power, your God, you can really get some fear. You can really get some things done right, because now you're standing under his power, his day, not under your name, not under you. And the angel of the Lord before them. So these brothers were standing, they was warring like angels of God. The Most High crunked these brothers up and turned them loose on these ratchet ass Negroes, man. What do you think he gonna do today? He gonna power you up 1,000 times what he was doing in these days and turn your ass loose. You ain't seen Superman. You ain't seen Hancock come across these streets until he turned loose. Today, what he about to turn loose. When he turned that loose, that's your ass, Mr. Postman, and they already know it. We already know it. We're going to the book of Isaiah, chapter 40. Why do you think they bought 40 some billion rounds of ammunition? Because they think they're going to fight the army of God. We are the golden army. That's why they made the movie Hellboy about you. Rise of the Golden Army. It's an unstoppable tide that must not be awakened. Okay? So we know that it's an unstoppable tide because our God is unstoppable. The book of Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And it's telling you right there and there. These brothers, when you mount up with the wings of eagles, you gonna move faster than you have ever moved before in your life. You ain't even gonna think that you're moving. You just gonna realize and witness that the movement is being done. I mean, this is some powerful business that's getting ready to come loose. And these brothers are really doing a bad thing by keeping you away from it and by teaching you these lies. So we got to get back to our God Israel and come back to our power. We're going to the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 13. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thy horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will considerate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. So it's talking about the Most High God of Israel. He said, arise and beat in pieces many people. In Jeremiah 50 and 20, 51 and 20, he says that thou art my battle axes and weapons of war. For with thee I will break into pieces nations and kingdoms. So what do you think he's going to do? In Ezekiel 20, and Isaiah, he says that he's going to lay his vengeance upon the Edom by the hand of his people Israel. So what do you think he's going to do? You don't even have the mind to even consume what the Most High has been telling you across the pages of this book when he had it sent to you. Y'all have forgotten God, your Savior. Micah 5 and 1. Now gather yourselves in troops, O daughter of troops. He that he had it led siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the chest. Now they've been smiting the judge of Israel for a while with a rod upon the chest. Okay? The Most High said gather together in troops. He's not talking about, we're going to go over and we only doing the Passover. If you don't pay this here, pay that there, you can't attend the Passover. See, that's not being godly, nor is it being worldly toward your people coming back to your God. They're just coming up with some nonsense. And they laid siege against us. They laid siege against us in Psalms 83 with all the crafty counsel and stuff. And that siege is still being carried out today, brothers and sisters. Get away from that Christ crucified and come back to your God. You know, and that's what y'all are missing, and that's what they've kept you away from. Now we're going to the Apocrypha out of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. And this is just going to be a little old fast class. Got a few things to do before I head into captivity today, family. Just wanted to bring this out to you. Chapter 3 and verse 1. And, Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God. Now, you understand that? These are all righteous men that we were reading about, that was doing all the mighty work, the 800 and thousands of people that these brothers slew, and it looks like they were doing it by themselves, but the Most High was there the whole time. That's why they were doing the things they were doing. Okay? And the souls of the righteous are in the hands of God, and there shall no torture, no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for mystery, and their goings from us to the utter destruction. But they are in peace. So they think that these brothers are going away from an utter destruction. All these brothers in peace because they know God. They know the Most High God of Israel. They didn't have no fear of going into any type of battle out there. They didn't have any fear of challenge, of having to deal with anything. Hell, if you know anything about King David, hell, he was a young man, a young boy when the Most High used King David to slew a lion and a bear. And he probably wasn't 14, 15 years old when this happened. So King David knew the power he was dealing with. He knew about the Most High God. Let's drop down to verse 8. All right. It says, they shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. Okay? Now, the Most High again said he's going to lay his judgment out on the wicked by the hand of his people Israel. This is what they're afraid of. They don't want you to come back to your God. They don't want you to know these things. But when the Most High activates, why do you think of this? Why do you think that whenever a black person go to the hospital Why do you think the first thing they do is they put energy monitors on you, heart regulation machines and all this type of shit? Because they're trying to see how much power you have, your power read. Like the little scouters in Dragon Ball Z that they would scan and be like, oh, his power level is only this. And then they'd be like, they go to messing with him, then the power level shoot up and they be scared again, be all scared and shit. It's the same thing with us, brothers and sisters. They read our power level. We have an etheric signature that is tremendous, and they try to do anything in their power to read it because they're terrified of us, brothers. Y'all really don't get it. Y'all really don't get it. When he says you are a battle axe and weapon of war, I'm just pausing because I'm just looking at you, and that's just that really, that's what that look is. That really look, y'all really still don't get it? Okay. Okay, that's why it said in the day of thy power. Okay. Verse 9, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. Now, who did I put my trust in? The Most High God of Israel. That's why I have an overstanding of the truth. Okay, and such as be faithful in love. In love, what is love? 1 John 5 and 3. Okay, they keep the commandments. Shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he had it cured for his elect. Okay, so grace and mercy for the saints and the elect. So you got to be of God. Let's see what it says in verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteousness and forsaken the Lord. So all those that have rejected and neglected God, forsaken him, you're going to be punished according to your own silliness, your own folly. A lot of these other nations, they just going to get smashed into pieces. I mean, he's just going to smash their asses into dust, powder. It says a little bit further over, he says he beats them into powder. You know, that's a hell of a lot of beating. To beat somebody to dust again. Nigga, you got liquids in this body. Imagine that. That's just like seeing something, a roadkill, and it's been run over 70 to 100 times in one day. It's damn near flat as a piece of paper, but it ain't straight. It ain't powder yet. It ain't powder yet. He gonna put your ass like you been in a grind under a millstone. He gonna grind your asses to fine freaking dust. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and we're gonna start at verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is desire and discipline. What is that? Wisdom. And the cure of the discipline is love. And love is keeping of her laws. Okay? Again, there's your love, selling straight out, keeping the laws. And giving heed unto the laws. And as assurance and incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto God. And incorruption maketh us near unto God. You hear that? As long as you're trying not to be full of this corrupt ways of this world, these old craziness, then you can get closer to God. You can find another scriptures to back that up in 1 Corinthians 15:42. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Okay, so wisdom is bringing it back to what? The kingdom of God, the kingdom of the Most High. This is the kingdom that they have tried to destroy, they've tried to hide, and they've tried to lie about. So we just have to get back on the path to our power and get back with our God. Going to the book of Isaiah 41 and verse 15. And it says, behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou art my battle axes and weapons of war. I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth, Israel. Y'all don't get it? He talking direct, but he talking direct to you, but y'all want to put some nonsense in there. We're going to get this finished, and here we go. And thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall smite the hills as chaff. You see, the Most High, man, you're going to be tearing up some stuff, man. You know how you see, like, what is that? That one where Superman was just learning how to fly and stuff, and he first did his little fly, and he was reaching for the cloud, and it took him off his focus, and he smashed into the mountain and all that shit, and he destroyed the top half of the mountain off of when it come through. This is what he's talking about. You're going to be able to run right through stuff like that. It ain't even going to phase you. It ain't even going to affect you. Just like he climbed up, got out of it, and went right back in, it's going to be the same way. But beyond what their little imaginations on their screen is for themselves, because they're not getting this power. This power was your blessing, Israel. This is what they don't want you to know about. This power is your blessing. But they want you to give it away with that Yahweh Shah and that Jesus shit. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away as dust. And with a whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. So we know, again, it's talking about the Most High God of Israel. So these brothers and sisters are lost out there when they're not bringing it out to you about what's going on. I mean, a lot of times, yeah, a lot of brothers be like, I'm really a little scared. They ain't gonna tell you that they're afraid when they should be afraid, because shit, I'm afraid daily. I'm afraid every second of the day. Every second of the day I'm afraid. I'm thinking in my mind, what do I need to repent about? What have I forgotten that I need to repent about, because I want to be right with my God. When he turned loose his power, I want that power, because it's necessary to cleanse this wicked ass world. You understand? It's necessary to cleanse this wicked ass world. And I've seen visions of Israel getting down. You heard me? I'm talking about get down on their asses, because there's a lot of things that's been hid that he's finna have to bring, that he's gonna bring to light. And so y'all just, get your minds ready. Like I said, prepare your minds for the Lord. Get your mind ready for God, because when he comes, there ain't gonna be no, well, I want to say this. I know you're gonna shut the hell up, or you're gonna find yourself in a severe punishment. I mean, we're already setting out some severe punishment, but you really don't want to be standing before the Lord and one of them angels grab you by the nape of your neck and slam your ass on the ground because you're trying to be a smart ass. You really don't want that. And he don't really need any of them to do any damn thing, because whatever he think is going to happen instantly. Okay? The book of Joshua, chapter 23 and verse 10. And check out what it says. It says, 1 man of you shall chase 1,000, for the Lord your God, he it is that fighteth for you, as he hadeth promised you. Okay? It said 1 of you. Put 1,000, well, we know that today is probably maybe 30, 40,000. You ain't never seen destruction like it's finna come, man. He says when the enemy come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord is going to lift up a standard against him. That standard is going to be 1,000 times whatever they come at you with. How the hell you think they're going to stand for that? They can't. That's why he said he's going to do his work, and who's going to stand in whenever he do his work? Nobody. Everything that's out there going to fall. Okay? Verse 11, take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. So if you're not focusing on the Most High God of Israel, and you think something else is going to do something, that's silliness. That's silliness. And I know these alphabet campers are pushing that, and they're teaching y'all wrong. And these brothers are going to have to, they're going to have to deal with the consequences that come from that. Just like he says about these pastors, he said that they're gonna be put to death. Y'all think it's a game? And these alphabet camper brothers gonna get the same thing. If your little so-called leader up there lying to you, leaving, well, yeah, I wish I this, yeah, I wish I that, the Most High gonna have his ass smited too. He didn't hesitate with smiting Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. He ain't hesitated with smiting none of these Negroes. Hell, I don't cut for none of them. I don't have no respect for King. I don't have no respect for X. None of them, because both of them are faggots. Do your history. Do your research. Shit. Y'all don't know it because you want to believe some bullshit. But we're going to end it off with Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure there in them. I have no pleasure in this world. That's why he said, love not the world nor the things of the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. We got to get this straight. Straight, family. This is what he's talking about. All right? Verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, For this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And on that note, brothers and sisters, I say, check yourself. Let every man examine himself. Before you point your finger at somebody else, get your own flaws, your own wickedness out of your path. And with that, I say, Shalom, Kram Yasharala, and the day of the Most High is coming, and it's up on, and it's near to all the heathen. As it says in Revelations 13 and 10, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. There is the faith and the patience of the saints. And these are the saints of God, nothing else. All praises to the Most High God of Israel.